Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your pal Impossibum here. We're back with another schematics video. And this one, somebody asked me, how do you make automatic doors? And I thought to myself immediately off the bat, well, that's super simple. Why can't somebody figure that out for themselves? Probably won't do it. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? That is such a quality of life thing that for some reason I have never thought of it. So I want this in my life. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do it. And you know what? For the great idea, it will be part of the video here. So thank you very much for your idea there, Sniff, who's the one who requested this. And this will be a step-by-step tutorial how to do this. We're going to start off very simple, and we're going to make a couple of increased difficulty variations as we go along. And I'll try to make all the different variations available for people to download if they want it. Anyway, so let's start off. We're gonna start simple. I always just use a microprocessor for pretty much anything. So let's go with that. Let's go ahead and connect the door to here. There we go. So what are we gonna want right off the bat? Well, first off, we're gonna have to do a sensor saying, okay, where are these? Not sensor, sorry. We're gonna want a radar saying, okay, where are these things? This is gonna be a radar from the processor. So we just say at this. This is going to be looking for allies, and we're going to have it looking for ground units, because if they're flying units, they can fly over, they don't need the door open. So let's put this on ground. All right, so this should basically find us the closest ground unit, and will give us an output right here of if they found it or not. Let's go in here and say, I don't know, if let's put a jump statement in here. If result is going to be a reference. Let's just put this in here. I'll just rename this ally. If ally not false, which means if we found something, we should do something. Otherwise, we should do this, which is going to be control. We're going to set enabled of wall. I think it's wall 1. Let me check and see. Oh, it's door 1, not wall 1. Yeah, that makes more sense. Door 1. Set enabled of door 1 to 0. Otherwise, we're going to be setting it to true. There we go. So if ally is not false, which means we found it, we want to go here. Otherwise, we just want to come here and shut the door. We're going to want to jump over our re-enabling of the door. Otherwise, it'll just keep going back and forth, and we'll never get anywhere. And we'll throw an end thing at the end here, just so our if always has something to jump to. We could have it jump all the way up here, but this is just a little bit cleaner. So this should work, I think, right now as it is, assuming I don't have any bugs in my code. I forgot to rename this to door 1. It was still set to block 1. That's why it wasn't working. As you can see, the door is open. Let me switch over to, let me get rid of this, and then switch over to this little guy. And now, well, it's already open because we're within range. We're going to do something later to give that a little bit more power. But let's move out of range. It closes. We get back within range, it opens, back and forth, there we go. It's a very simple automatic door, but we're not stopping here. But if this is all you want, I'm going to go ahead and get the schematic up for you, but we're going to go ahead and make this a little bit more complicated. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to update the door. We're going to make it a little bit more complicated, but really nothing all that special. What we're going to do here is we're going to put in a switch. We're going to put in a message block so we can see what's going on here. Having a little output is always helpful for these kind of things. So let's go in here and say, maybe we're going to turn it, the whole mechanism is going to turn on and off according to whether this switch is enabled or disabled. That way, if we just want the door up and we don't want it to react to people, we can have it set off like this and it won't do anything. And if we want it to be automated like it's supposed to be, we just turn it back on. So let's go ahead in here. Let's go ahead. Well, first off, let's go to here, enable the switch and the message. There we go. This is going to be, is that named switch 1? There we go. Geez, I can't read it. Hopefully it's switch 1 anyway. Let's go in here and let's just put switch 1 on the top. Sensor. There we go. We're looking for a sensor. Before we want to do anything, we want to see if something's enabled. So let's see if it's enabled. Equals. First off, this is going to be switch 1. And should just be here, should just literally be enabled if I remember correct. Controlled, enabled. There we go. So basically we're checking to see if the switch is enabled or not. And we're going to say if not enabled. Let's go, woo, put that back where it was. Everything gets put to the bottom and that can cause, oh God, I've ruined things. See, this is supposed to be up here. This is supposed to be over here. Okay, I put it back in place. Woo! All right. Now we got enabled here. We're going to say if enabled, not true, or, you know, whatever. We're just going to go to the end. We're going to say if enabled is not true, we do not want this door to work anymore. We're going to skip all this stuff. We're going to leave the door however it is, and that should work just fine. Let's just double check. And oh, it's currently down right now, but what happens if I do that? Does it fix itself? It does not. This thing should be within range. So what happens if I do that? Now it fixes itself. And now it doesn't do anything. Let me fix it. Does it do anything still? Nope. Mind you, this guy right here is still in range, so the door should still automatically go down. So if I go like this, does it close? It closes automatically. Very cool. So let's check it out and just verify really quick that this works the way we think it works. All right, so I hopped over to our little guy here. The door is up because he's within, you know, X range. Basically, it's whatever the range is of this. He's within this circle. I'll leave the circle up so you guys can see. As soon as he's outside of that circle, the door should close. And it does. He goes back in. Door opens. We hit the switch. Now when we go out the circle, now it makes a giant liar of me, and it keeps doing whatever it wants to do regardless, apparently. All right, I got it figured out. It was just a simple bug. It was no longer referenced properly, so it didn't have the blue diamond on it. Now you can see it's turned off, and it no longer works if we get within range. It's really simple. Sometimes you just forget something silly like that. As you can see, it doesn't work because we have it switched off. We hit the switch. Oh, it starts working. We get outside the range. There we go. So now we have a very simple mechanism that'll work. You know, you can turn it on and off essentially. So you want automatic doors to work, you can do that. You just go ahead and leave it like so. If you want them to work like we want, we can turn it back off. And now it won't do anything. Turn it back on. Whoop. There we go. Whoop, went too far out. There we go. So now with it back on, it does exactly what we want. Now it'll just stay and do whatever it wants to. So we don't have to worry about this. We can set it to automatically work or not. So this has been step 2. All right, so now we're stepping it up to step 3 complexity. As you can see, if any allied ground units are within this large range here, it'll open and close as they enter and leave this area. But this is quite a large radius, quite larger than you need, and you might actually allow enemies to slip through if you just have guys hanging out near the, you know, anywhere within this vicinity. So ideally, we'd want to close up this area just a little bit so that maybe things only within like this area here would affect the door opening and closing. And if they're outside that range, it wouldn't happen. So let's go in here and see what we can do about that. First off, we're going to grab some information. And what we're going to do is first, we're going to come over here. We're going to get sensor information, and I'm going to get sensor information telling me the location of the door, because we're going to do all our calculations based off of where the door is. So we're going to call this door X. This is the door's X location on the map, X coordinate on the map rather, and this is for door 1. There we go. We're going to copy this and just basically use the same thing and just convert it over to Y. So now we have the X and Y coordinates of that door. And honestly, we're probably never going to want to, I don't know how calculator I want to get this. A lot of me just wants to cache this and just jump back to here every time. But, you know, for sake of simplicity, I'm not going to do that. A lot of people might get confused if I do stuff like that. So let's just keep moving forward. So now we know where the thing is. And we have the closest ally we're referenced here. So if ally is not 0, we're already coming down in here and setting the enabled of the block. Well, we're not going to do that right off the bat. What we're going to want to do is first off take a reference to that ally, and we're going to want to get his locations. So let's go to ally, which is the reference we're getting right here to allies that are within range. So we're going to want the at X location of that ally. We can just call this ally X, and we're going to do the same exact thing but for Y. So ally Y. So basically we're getting his X and Y coordinates so we can check their distance to see how close they are, so we can modify the range the way we want. So now what we're going to want to do is check the difference between these two different values. We want to see the difference between the door X and the ally X, as well as the ally Y and door Y. So let's get that going real quick. We're going to throw in an operator here, and we're going to put this right here. We're going to call this X diff for X difference. This is going to be door X and ally X, and this is going to be a subtraction because you want to know the difference. And let's do the same thing, but for Y, so we're going to rename these. Woo. Y diff is equal to door Y minus ally Y. And there you get the difference between these. And with this, we can make a 2-point vector. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is going to give us the distance we're looking for here. So we're going to change this over to length. As soon as I can find it, len. There we go. We're going to say this is dist for distance. And this is going to be x diff and y diff. And well, we have the distance of how far away it is. And what we want to do essentially is saying, hey, if distance is greater than, like, say 4 or 5, let's just ignore the person there, because you know what? It's not close enough to be really viable. So let's just say dist here. If dist is greater, let's say 4, greater than 4, let's just go ahead and skip this stuff. Let's just skip enabling here. Otherwise, if they're closer than 4, we're going to go ahead and open the door. All right, let's see if this works, because, you know, coding live always works. This is for all the marbles. Let's see if this works out now. Let me go ahead and switch my dude over here. We're going to switch over to this guy. There we go. He's outside. He wants to wander out by himself, by the way, which is why I have to keep him caged up. All right, so it's turned off right now, so it shouldn't do anything. There we go. As you can see, it doesn't activate because our guy gets next to it. Let's activate it. Let's see what happens when we get close. Now, mind you, this is way within the normal detection range, so this should already be open right now if we didn't add in the qualification checking distance. So let's see what happens. Oh, it opened for us. Does he get out of range? And he gets out of range, it closes. And look how much of a difference that is. This is how close he has to be before it opens. Compared to the, you know, doubling that length in the normal circumstances. This is totally variable. We can change that to be as big or as small as we want. Let's say we want it to be so they have to be even closer. You have to be within 2 of the door. Otherwise, that door is staying closed. That's all there is to it. There we go. Check how close you have to be for that. You have to, like, literally be touching it at this point. There we go. That's all there is to it. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. This is automatic doors. It's just a simple quality of life thing. For some reason, I just never thought of doing. And I thought it was pretty cool, so I shared it with you guys, and hopefully you enjoy it. If you guys are into this kind of stuff, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that bell icon so you know when I put out new content. Smash that like button and comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.